Hey, Joe. How's it going, buddy? Can you hear me? Let me see. Do I have to unmute you or can you unmute yourself? There's a little microphone at the bottom left corner. If you can click on that little microphone, the red line should come off. Let's see. What's that?
You are unmuted by the host. There you go. How are you, buddy?
Good, sir. How are you?
Excellent.
Nice.
What a workout today.
You had a good workout.
Oh, man. Yeah. I think it was a little bit harder. Well, we upped the weight, but I think it was a little bit harder because what I ate yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So having some incorrect foods yesterday affected your vigor and vitality today.
Yeah.
And you're able to make that connection.
Yeah, and that's a learning, right? That's a progress, right?
That's a really important learning, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. And like we talked about this morning is I don't really miss the protein. Well, sorry, what we talked about this morning is I don't really miss the protein.
Yeah.
As much, right? Like I would have thought I would have missed it more and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that funny that I really didn't think I could live without protein. And the reality is actually that I'm completely fine and comfortable without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. And you know, that idea that you can thrive on fruit and realizing that really is possible. Who's that? Is that the Las Vegas runner-up? Like,
I don't even recognize that guy.
A second, let's see if is that who I think it is. Bob, can you hear us?
He's coming to us from the gods. That's what the white light is about.
Bob, can you hear us?
Do you have to unmute him?
I can't see a way to unmute him. Can you see a way to Rob to turn on your microphone? Love to get your testimony of what kind of experience you've. We'll catch him again. Still trying to master this technology completely, so bear with us here. So Joe, you made a great connection. I wanted to jump into a little bit of oh, here we go. Rob's back. Rob, can you hear us, buddy?
I can hear you.
Ah, there he is.
Hey, Rob.
How's it going, Joe? Hello, boys. How are you?
How you feeling, my man?
The dream team.
I haven't seen you, bro. I haven't seen you since you came back, have I?
No, I haven't been able to make it out.
All right, I haven't seen you, man.
I'm gonna be preparing for the European Championships. It's in January, so I'm gonna do a good 12 weeks with you, I think.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Looking forward to that in the afternoon.
In the next 2 weeks, if not this week coming up, then next week for sure.
Super cool, man. Super cool. So what's been going on? Have you been doing some detox?
You know what? I've just been working so much, man. I haven't had time to really submerge myself into it. I really want to do it though. I really do. So I look at all your stuff and I read all your posts and I'm definitely going to be doing it. I'm thinking about doing coming up for the spa day.
Oh, nice. Good.
I saw your post.
Nice, nice. That would be awesome, buddy. I would love that.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much battery life on my phone here. I just noticed that I happened to catch it at the right time. We were just getting ready to make dinner.
Oh, well, I'm glad you at least jumped in for a little bit here, man. And I hope that you do get involved with that detox process for yourself. It's really you're gonna be blown away by what happens when you get into it, I think, buddy. I think it's gonna really affect you quickly. Because you're so athletic.
Body's really receptive.
You're so fit.
You
know, you're in such great condition. I think as soon as you make this change, you're gonna notice it right away. I'm so glad that Natalie's got on tonight. My detox sister, my detox sister is here, man.
Good to be here. Very good to be here.
What's been happening? Talk to me. I haven't talked to you for a bit.
All right, what's been happening? Absolutely lots and lots of fruit, which has been great. I did have my first pizza dinner on Saturday night because I know you do that. I had friends over for Thanksgiving, and we just had kids over and stuff.
I haven't had it for 3 weeks now, maybe almost a month. It's been since I've had my pizza dinner. I've been on a mucusless weekend binge lately, so I'm trying to hold it down all week long now. Anyhow, sorry, continue, please. Took me a long time. It took me a long time to get there. Don't expect to get there overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, slowly, slowly.
It's been amazing. I've lost a lot of bloating and stuff like I was talking about. So I feel good. I look good. I'm able to do curl-ups. Like, things are great. And this week I'm going all gangbusters in terms of all fruit, a little bit of veggies, because next Sunday is when I have Thanksgiving. So.
Oh my gosh, there's a testimony for us, eh? It's amazing, man. It feels great. Like when you really do go over the edge and you really make the commitment and you really feel it, you catch it, right? But you gotta jump a little bit.
I haven't read a lot of the book, and I have lots of people like, well, what about your protein and what about this? And I'm like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just not thinking about it. I'm just gonna go with it. It feels good.
You really have to just let go and trust, and when you do, it catches you.
Yep, I agree.
Amazing. Wow.
So Natalie, you weren't on the line when I first came on, and John knows I had a workout with him today, and I cleaned up my diet quite a bit, and then yesterday, you might experience this, so just be aware of it, and hopefully you might learn from it on your own. Was that then yesterday my kids wanted ribs for Thanksgiving, and so I had a little bit of ribs and more protein than before I stopped, and I'm a pretty big guy, and I wasn't missing the protein, but I noticed that when I had it this morning, I woke up with a headache, which I never did, and then when I was working out with Rob, I felt my performance was a notch lower. I felt like, and towards the end, I felt the coughing up of the mucus coming up, and so we had to back off on it.
Well, Joe, I was telling John about this time of year. I'm not going to say every year it happens to me because I don't want to watch my words, but I tend to get a cold. It's a change of season flu. And this year I've had the mucus for sure. It started at the beginning of our cleanse, and it hasn't floored me. Like, my energy's still up. I've been draining a lot. I'm finally finishing up. So it's like a week usually kills me for about 10 days to 2 weeks. And I'm feeling better. So I am saying it's got to be the fruit. And when I do have something that's a little bit off the fruit and off the kilter, the mucus comes even stronger. So I've had some incredibly yellow, like this color mucus come out of my nose, which is weird. Wow. I've never had that before. So I'm just like, okay.
I had that come out of my butt.
This color. And I'm
that color right there.
No, that's not normal. So I'm detoxing my brain. Like, something's going on. So it's good. It's very good.
And John,
Yeah.
I knew indirectly about the mucus slide about 15 years ago.
Really?
You know how I knew? I'll show you my proof. Look at the picture at the back behind me.
I don't see.
I can't. Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe I'm going the wrong way.
Why? What's in a picture of, Joe?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fruits. He's got fruits.
A fruit bowl?
No, a whole bunch of, a platter of fruit, a huge platter.
So you seen it coming. It was
coming.
already in your framework.
Yeah.
In your network, in your consciousness.
I was just waiting for the rest of the information.
You're so enlightened.
You were a frugivore the whole time, Joe.
Exactly.
So listen, guys, I wanted to just start off with a little bit of content here. I just want to work through it. You guys are already pros at this, but I want to make sure that I leave this for people that I know that want to get the recording that aren't on the call tonight. Just a quick little reminder that this whole process is really, it's a two-step process, right? It's a combination of fasting and refeeding ourselves with fruit and live food, right? So we're trying to at least start with a 14-hour fast. How are you guys doing with your fast length?
No problem. It's easy for me.
14 hours is easy?
14 to 16 hours every day, for sure.
14 to 16 hours is comfortable, isn't it?
Super,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's weird but true. But maybe like if you're eating less than 12 hours, then stretch it to 14. But as soon as you get used to 14, see if you can lengthen it to 15 or 16 hours if you can. Your body will adapt, and you'll be surprised. And as you do that, that makes your contact with your deepest root energy most powerful. Right? The longer time that you spend in the fast, the more connected and grounded you get to that deep root energy. And that's when we start talking about getting into that energy sharing and moving energy, intentionally moving energy. This is the meditation. This is the visualization. This is the goal setting. This is making sure that we're directing that new energy that we're freeing up and putting it out into our life properly. So the fasting helps us connect, and as we get better at the fasting, getting to 16 hours potentially, then perhaps we are going to be able to take the water away and make it a dry fast. So this is, progressing further into the process. Maybe not at the beginning. Maybe at the beginning it's just great to not eat food for 14 hours, but we're allowed to take fluids. And then as we progress, maybe after 30 days, maybe after 60 days, maybe after 90 days, we start to introduce trying to reduce the fluid intake as well. And then getting more of our fluid from the hydration from the fruit. Then we're raising that fruit intake up a little bit more. So then during the feeding times, that's going to be somewhere between 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, maybe down to 6 hours a day if we can get there. We're doing predominantly fruit, and that's going to be the astringent fruits that are going to really help to get into the capillary beds, into the lymphatic beds, and break up the acidosis that's there, the trapped plaque, the trapped mucus that's actually begun to get hardened in that space now, and it's now blocking our capillary beds, it's blocking our lymphatic beds. And our body just can't work optimally. Oxygen can't move freely through, nutrient can't move freely through, and the body's actually compromised. So at this point, this compromised point in our health, it's really not beneficial to be focused on nutrient intake at all. At this point in the game, like, nutrient intake is the last thing that we need, right? We can't even get at the nutrient properly, even if it comes in, because our body is so compromised, because it's got so much acidosis and hardening of mucus And so nutrient can't move freely through the cells as it should. Osmosis is interrupted. Things are slowed down. Processes are not working properly. So now when we add this astringent fruit, we're going to break up that mucus. We're going to lubricate all of that hardened plaque and allow that hardened plaque to enter back into the lymphatic system, clear through the kidneys and clear through the colon. So we're going to end up, you're going to end up actually losing a lot of waste as fecal matter or as urine. It's going to pass out through your urine. It's going to go out through your fecal matter. It's going to go out through your skin. It's going to go out potentially even through your breath. All of the loosened plaque, once it gets reintroduced back into the system, is going to leave your body through one of these methods. And that is the detoxification process. Now, as we continue to fill the body with fruit and alkalize the body and stir up that hardened mucus and get it starting to leave the body, what can happen sometimes is we can have just a massive buildup of release of mucus happening all at one time. And when that massive amount of mucus breaks free and tries to leave the body at one time, that can make the host, the participant, uncomfortable. And it can manifest in a lot of different ways: sore throat, runny nose, mucus, diarrhea, digestive distress, hot and cold temperatures, real fatigue, acne, moles, any sort of these illness symptoms can appear. And what happens at that point is often that the person that's trying to detoxify becomes scared and then turns back to toxic foods again, cooked foods again, meats again, which settles down the detoxification process and fools them into thinking that eating protein and cooked foods is actually the right thing to do. And so that's what's happening, and that's why it's actually hard to teach people this process, and that's why I really want to remind people of this is exactly what is going to happen, so that when you see these things do appear, you're kind of a little bit more ready and not so surprised. Okay, so I am going to be talking about energy and meditation tonight. I do want to do that. I want to spend most of my time there. But before I do that, I also just want to spend 90 seconds, if everyone has a pen and paper there, and let's each of us also do this, because you know what, there's not just one way to connect with our center. There's not just one right way or one wrong way. There's numerous ways, and so no one can really tell anyone what the right way is. And so I really want to make sure that I'm sharing, different methods of connecting with and uniting with that deep energy inside of us and helping that energy to manifest most beautifully in our lives. So what we focus on grows. So if we can put some attention on the things that we're most grateful for in our life, then those things will grow in our life. So this is a real simple way of getting our energy in the right space. So let's just take 90 seconds. If you're here on the line, on the call with us, wonderful. If you're just doing it at home, we're going to take 90 seconds right now anyways. If you're watching this and recording, let's write down 1, 3, or 5 things that you're most grateful for. And if you get through all of them, maybe start even into why you're grateful for them. And if you get through that, then even like maybe some goals, some action steps in any of those parts of your life. I'm just going to give you another 60 seconds. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time, but I do want to spend a little bit of time here. I will be doing the same in my mind's eye. We're going to go for another 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds working on your gratitude list, working on any goals or any action steps towards any targets, people, objects that are on your gratitude list. All right, and again, there's no right or wrong way, guys. So just taking some time to bring our attention to the things that are most important to us, that already starts to shift our energy. And that's really what we're all trying to do, is change our energy. So we go through the detoxification process to get rid of organic and inorganic elements that are in our body. So that means heavy metals, fluoride, drugs of any kind that we've used in our past, foodstuffs, leftovers, fermentation, chemicals, fecal matter, waste. But we also have organic elements like some live candida, yeast, parasites, worms, whatever could be actually alive that could be inside of us. And you know, when we get these things removed, then we're able to connect with our deep root energy more clearly, more keenly. And when we're connected with it more clearly, now we can direct it in our lives more fully, more functionally. So we really want to make sure that we're very clear about where we're putting that energy. So the detoxification process is a two-step process. It's the nutrition portion, but then it's also that energy building and focus and directing portion. So getting clear about the things that are most important to us, that was the thought wheel stuff we did last week. So if you haven't seen that yet, just make sure that you take a look at that thought wheel idea. That I believe is just like a very important thing that everyone needs to do. You know, that is the thought practice that I think is most required. In some way, in some form, in some shape or some manner, you have to have some goals in different parts of your life. You have to get a clear vision of what you want to create, because it's in the visualization, it's in the process of going over that thought over and over and over again, the repetition that puts it into our subconscious, that makes it our most predominant thought, and we manifest what we think about most. So we want to get our thoughts very clear, and we want to be able to have them so clear that we can actually bring them into our meditation, into our visualization. And so the process of thinking about our goals, that thought process brings them to a very clear vision that you can very clearly articulate the things that you want in your life and know them very well, so that when you set yourself in the morning for 20 minutes or 30 minutes in quiet practice, whether it's with movement or you're just sitting, building your energy, you can very quickly bring into your mind a very clear vision of what you want to create in your life. That comes from the process of going through some method of collecting your goals, right? We get a clear vision of our goals, and then we also want to lift up that inner chi energy, right? Whatever you want to call that universal energy that holds the world together and we have access to. So the chakra, you know, I've come from a real hard science background, and the chakra is that Eastern philosophy, that Eastern idea of us having 7 spaces inside of our body, and each of those spaces are to be connected to some gland. And, you know, I don't have a ton of deep chakra knowledge, except that the chakra visualization, the idea of of there being alignment of energy that's coming from deep down inside of us and coming up through our crown. I think the chakra best describes that. And, you know, I can't explain what's going on inside me to you any more than you can understand it. But to say to myself that I kind of envision that I do have some root energy in my body. And however you want to envision that, you know, the chakra says that's your red light. And it says there's different colors of energy that move all the way through. And if you look at the colors of light, there's 7 different colors of light, and they're all at a different frequency, a different vibration, a different energy. And again, it's bringing us back to that energy. It's bringing us back to that vibration. It's bringing us to the color. It's bringing us to light. It's bringing us to white light. We are light beings. We are beings of light. We are all vibration. Our sound, our voice is a vibration. The things that we say vibrate within us and tune us to a certain vibration that manifests a certain thing in our lives. And if we want to change what's actually happening in our lives, we want to change our vibration. So if we can envision, you know, something like the chakra, that you've got energy deep down inside of you, and you want to try to bring that energy and rise it up out the crown of your head, and realize that there is energy also all around you. So the energy is coming down, white light energy is coming down from the heavens or from the universe. You know, if you just want to look at it in terms of physical, like the stars are sending light down, and that's coming down towards us. And each of us as an individual has our own light that is inside, and that's deep down in our bellies and our roots. And if we can try to bring that energy up through us, we can unite it with the energy that is coming down from the heavens, or from the stars, from the universe up above. If we can try to align our energy there, that we can receive the healing energy and the healing light energy, the healing vibration that's coming down from above, and we can connect it with that universal energy that's at our roots, that we all have access to. All right? So that's what the meditation is about, where we're intentionally raising our energy. We're connecting our energy and lifting it up and trying to connect with white light above us. And it's just perhaps a way to process it in your mind. And it's not necessarily a solution for you. It's just a way that I envision it and able to articulate it to you. Hopefully it's helpful. So we have 4 energy bodies. That's what I like to talk about. I spoke to a detoxification professional today from South Africa, and another one from Australia. And the one from South Africa, she was talking about, 10 or 12 energy bodies. And so, you know what, no one can say how many energy bodies there are. Like, no one can talk about what's inside. So what I talk about 4, right? I think that's simplest, and maybe I'll grow and start talking about more later. But right now I'm talking about 4. I mean, these are the simple ones that I think everyone can grasp, is that you've got a physical body. You've got an arm and legs and limbs. You've got a mental body. You've got the ability to process thought, to be able to think. You have an emotional body. You can admit to feeling angry, sad, happy, filled with joy. These are your emotions. They are us as well too. We have an energy body of emotion. And I like to call the 4th body the spirit body. Call that whatever you like. Call it God if you like. Call it the divine. Call it Allah or Buddha, or call it, science. You can call it the quantum field, the collective unconscious. You can call it the subconscious. Anything you like. Doesn't bother or offend me. I don't want to bother or offend you, so I'll let you put anything that you like in there. I call it the spirit body most of the time. And that this part of us is the part that is kind of the electrical conductor. It's our vibrational part, right? If we no longer live, this part has left us. We're no longer able to conduct electricity. We're no longer electrical when this part leaves us. So this part has something physical to it. It does conduct electricity. And so it does have some energy. And that's all I can say about it. You know, as far as science goes, we can't talk about it except for if we connect ourselves to an angstrom meter that will register somewhere around 6,500 angstroms if we're healthy. And if we have cancer, we'll measure somewhere around 4,700 angstroms, right? What does that mean? Electromagnetic impulse. I'm not sure how to say what that means, but there is a part of us that's connected to the whole. And that part always is fine. It's always safe. It never has to worry. It's not going to die. It never gets cold. It's never heartbroken. So it's always in its most ideal space. And that part is in you, and you have access to it. We all do. So we may be caught up in our mental body. We may be caught up in a thought. We may be caught up in our emotional body. We may be caught up in some anger or some frustration or something that's going on. We may be caught up in our physical body. We may have pain in our neck or in our lower back. We may be caught up in pain, emotional pain, mental pain. We may be caught up in something. But no matter what we're caught up in, we're all caught up in pain. We all have pain, whether it's financial or emotional or physical or personal. We all have pain. So we're all caught up in some body here, or one of the other bodies that I haven't mentioned that I don't know of to be able to explain to you. We're caught up in a body, but we have access to a body that is whole all of the time. That's the important thing to understand here, is that there is a vibrational part of you that is whole and perfect and connected and grounded. And if we can move from the body that we're in into the body that is perfect, we could kind of blend out the focus from being so focused on the problem that we're in, the pain that we're in, the situation or circumstance. So this is what happens is we get caught in our mental body. We get caught in our ego, our identity. And really what that is everything that's inside of our heads. We're thinking about stuff. We're caught in a thought process. We keep going around and around in the same thought process. And because we're in that same thought process, we end up with the same emotions, the same thoughts every single day. And we're thinking the same things every single day. So we're recreating the same life for ourselves every single day. In order for us to move forward, we need to break that habit of doing the same thought and start thinking about those new thoughts about where we want to go more often. We want to get out of the thought process of the mental body and slip into the emotional body, how we're feeling, or even a little bit step further into the spiritual body. Right? And it's a different place. It's not in thought. Everything that's inside of our thoughts, everything inside of our head is everything that's come into our head, into our mind through the senses. The only way you can get into the mind is through the senses, through a sense door. That's how all knowledge got in. So the only way that you can get out is the same way, is through a sense door. Right? You can stand in front of a picturesque, you stand in front of the Grand Canyon and be taken by the sight, and you're lost from thought. You can go to a symphony, you can hear beautiful music, and again, you could be lost in the sound. You can be taken away with the beautiful smell of a flower or perfume or a partner or a person. It's when you go into the sense that you leave the thought process, you leave the mind. Right? So we can focus on a sense. If we say we're going to focus on the breath, like in a meditation, if we're watching the breath, we're watching the chest rise, we're watching the belly rise, we're watching the shoulders, watching the spine lift. We're going through what's actually going on. We're processing what's actually going on. We're slipping into the sense of feeling. Right? We're dropping out of thought and slipping into feeling. This is the escape. This is the escape through the thought into one of our senses. Okay? So that is the thought process that you need to understand to leave the mental body, the space that you're stuck in, the space that we're all stuck in, because that's why we're holding the same experiences in our lives, because we keep thinking and talking about the same things on a day-to-day basis. We break it up by starting first thing in the morning, and again maybe at the end of the day, and wonderful if you can start doing it in the middle of the day too. Wow, now you're really playing with power, right? But if we can bring ourselves into our spirit body, we can immediately lift up our energy into that perfect godly space, that energy that holds worlds together, that spirit energy, just by slipping out of the mind, slipping into the breath, slipping into the sense of feeling. So now I'd like to just get ourselves set up for a meditation, guys. So I want you to get yourself into a position that you really can hold. You know, whether you're on your bed or you're in a chair, whether you've got your feet flat or you got your legs crossed, however you are, I want you to be in a place that you can really try to sit as still as possible so you can really watch what's going on. See if you can try to keep your body as a tall alignment as you can so that you've got that straight line happening from your root right up through your shoulders, right up over your head. So let's start off just by closing our eyes. Let's begin our meditation. I think the simplest way to begin a meditation is to begin with a counting breath. So I'll start. I'll do a count, and we'll all kind of do it together. And then I'll even pause and allow you to kind of keep the count on your own, so that I can have some clear breaths, just meditating as well, so that I can be involved in the meditation along with you, and we can share this space, this moment, and this energy together. And we really bring ourselves just with your eyes closed now. So we're tuning out any visual stimulation, and we're just going to try and bring our attention and focus to just my voice only, and also then to just what's happening inside of you. Really what's just going on inside of you and my voice. And if you ever tune me out and just listen to what's inside of you, that's wonderful. That's perfectly fine. I'm just here to guide you, and if you don't need my guide, feel free to explore on your own. It's not what I say goes, that's for sure. Okay, so we're just going to begin the meditation tonight with a counting breath. I'm going to count you through it for a few, and then I'll even let you guys count on your own. We'll just count for 4 breath. We'll just go in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. And pause, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. In, out, pause. In, hold, out, pause. In. I'll let you guys just work on that breath on your own for 2 or 3 more breaths, just watching your breath and counting in your mind if you like, or let go of the count and just breathe. All right, guys. Now just keeping your eyes closed there. You know, the breath is important because the breath brings us to the moment. The breath brings us to the moment. In any given moment, all we need is the breath. You know, we get caught up in thoughts thinking that we need to get something or do something. However, you know, if we bring ourselves to the moment, that's our most powerful space. That's where the most power resides, is in the moment. So if you can bring yourself to the moment by focusing on your breathing, you can bring yourself into the most powerful space that you have. So now that we have done like just a little bit of an introduction there now to getting into your meditation, let's be a little bit more intentional with our focus, and let's bring our focus now to trying to sense a deep root energy that's inside of all of us. So kind of focusing your intention now down into the lowest part of your belly. So you're sitting tall and you're trying to lift your head as high as you can. So your spine is as tall as possible. And then you're focusing down into your pelvic region, into your lower belly. And you're focusing on the energy and power that's there. And you're focusing and allowing your energy to build in that space. So just focusing on that area, just breathing and building up your energy there. Nice, full breaths. Full breaths allow the energy to build more intensely. Nice, deep, full breaths as you focus on your abdomen, lower abdomen region. If you feel the desire to hold the breath and bear down into that region and allow your heart rate to rise a little bit by squeezing in that area, it's a great way to build up heat and energy in the area. And then intentionally now trying to bring that energy up from your solar plexus, from your root, up into your heart. So you're trying to pull that energy up now and allowing that energy to rise into your heart area. Let your heart fill with that most powerful energy from your lower abdomen. Let it come up into your heart. Let it fill your heart. Let go of any resistance that you have in your heart. Just sharing energy from your heart. White light energy. Pure white light energy coming from your heart. Rising upwards to your throat. It's your voice. You know, if you're practicing and you ever wanted to Om, make a vibrating noise, that's a wonderful thing to do to help bring that energy up and out through your voice. Lift that energy up into your neck. It's where the power comes to express yourself through your voice. Gain clarity comes out through your voice. Certainty, decision making. Such a strong area, your throat. Allow that energy to rise up to your third eye. I need to open my third eye. I don't usually see very much in my meditation. I'm mostly a feeler. I sense, I feel, but I'm not a big seer. A lot of people talk about seeing things in colors. I have not experienced that. Would love to open my third eye. Love to bring my energy up intentionally and open my eye. I'd love to see. Intentionally, I'd love to see through my third eye. I'd love to be able to, they say you can travel that way. Bringing that energy up higher still to the crown. Right out the top of my head with the energy. It aligns with the heavens above. Fully connected. White light energy can come down from above and enter me and heal me and come out from me and heal anyone that I speak to or lay hands on, lay eyes on. Anyone that comes into my space can be healed by that white light if it's pure. So now that we've raised up our energy together and we're all sharing the same space and the same breath and the same moment, and we're united that way, we're all in the collective together, we're in the conscious space between thought together, in the quiet space, in our power, in our spirit. Now we can try a love and kindness meditation because we've set our energy right. So collectively now, we can all direct our energy with this meditation that's thousands of years old. And it begins, created by a great sage. It begins with where It all must begin each day. It begins with ourself. And it begins with giving love to ourself. It means accepting ourself and nourishing ourself, filling ourself up. And we begin the meditation by asking. We're speaking to ourselves. We're speaking to the spirit, the God part of ourself. May I find peace today. Breathe and meditate on that thought. May I find joy today. May I find love today. May I feel love today. May I realize any thoughts I hold, any energy, any behavior that interrupts me from feeling love today. Now, that's just my own words adding to the meditation. The meditation is, may I find love today. But whenever you ask yourself anything, if you don't have the answers, sometimes you just need to ask yourself the right questions. You need to ask them in the right space with the right energy. And if you ask the right question in the right space, you will find your answer. May I be free today. So the meditation progresses from there. Now that we've built energy and love and asked for energy and love for ourselves, from ourselves, and we've put that energy inside of ourselves, we've built our energy now. Now we want to be conscious, intentional, where we send that energy. So the meditation continues to the person that's closest to you in your life, your primary partner, or the most important person to you. It could be a child, it could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be a sibling, it can be your lover, it can be whoever is the most important human being to you. May that person find peace today. Wish that upon that person. Think that to that person, about that person, for that person. May that person find joy today. May that person find love today. May that person be free today. Then the meditation moves out from the person that's closest to you and moves then to maybe someone that you don't really know, or someone else in your family, or someone you don't know, or someone you work with, or someone that lives in another part of the world, or someone that's in dire straits, or just worse off than you. So choose your next person, and let's try one more time there to send our love out to them intentionally, because as we put out love, as we put out white light, we know what we're building for ourselves as well too. And it's not that it's not that we're intentionally trying to get something for ourselves. It's that we are lovingly sending out joy, happiness, and peace to someone else on this planet. And then the meditation turns to now include someone that you're angry with, frustrated with, someone that you don't like, someone maybe that you hate, someone that is the wrong culture or the wrong religion or the wrong sex, someone that you have a negative feeling for. And this is an opportunity now for you to forgive and to send those people, someone that you don't like, someone that's been bothering you, someone that you're jealous of. Send them some peace, some joy, some love, and some freedom. And finally, to finish off the meditation, let's envision ourselves just sending our white light all around the globe and helping the entire globe to heal themselves and help themselves. Send peace and joy and love and freedom out to everyone on the planet. Now, guys, that's a love and kindness meditation. Let's finish off tonight just with another 2 more minutes, we've just really set our energy up really, really well right now. Let's now just clearly envision our thought wheel, our primary relationship, our secondary relationship, our career, our finances, our adventure, and our contribution back to the planet. Let's just take 2 minutes to kind of fit our thoughts, our organized goal-setting thoughts, our predominant thoughts, right into our visualization right here. So, I mean, you can do it at the end, you can do it at the beginning. Sometimes I focus on my thought wheel, sometimes I focus on my love and kindness meditation, sometimes there's no right or wrong way to interact with this energy. But just since we're in a really good space, let's take the last 60 seconds to just bring our attention now to the things that we want to create most in our lives. And that's it, guys. We'll just wiggle our fingers and our toes, bring ourselves back to the now, the immediate now. And we'll just take a minute or two to ask anything that they want to share about the experience they just had, or if they had an experience, or if they didn't have an experience, or if they had a challenge, or anything else that they realized from what we just did.
I had an experience, John.
What's that?
I had an experience.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. What experience did you have?
One that I haven't fully recognized for a long time, and that was the first person that I loved was that witness that's inside of me. And
Sorry, Jeremy, can you hear me? Joe, can you hear me? Natalie, can you hear me? No, everyone has frozen. Hello, hey! Oh, God, I lost you
you're back.
guys. Sorry, Jared. Continue with your share, please.
I guess I can Cole's notes of it. I got in touch with that inner voice, that inner person that sometimes when we talk to ourselves, that person, and by loving that person, it kind of filled me up with love that I can actually go and love my primary a little deeper. And I hadn't really done that and really appreciated that silent witness for a long time, John. Thank you. That was really good for me.
Wow. And what do you think about the meditation did that for you? Or do you think it's because you're maybe just a little bit more connected because you've been fasting and dealing with the fruit? Or
I've been thinking about that a little bit, John, and this is new territory for me. You know, we've meditated before, we've moved and worked out and done martial arts and a whole bunch of stuff, and even played with food. But I'm at a good spot where it's all kind of coming together, the movement, the physical fitness aspect we went through, the whole religious experience, everything's now coming together as more of a whole message.
There we go. You've got it, buddy. You've got it. So that's it. When you get that, when you get the right food in and you start to get some of the crap out, everything sort of comes into clear vision.
Yeah.
Real wonderful. That's a really important share. Thank you for bringing that, Jeremy. That's really wonderful, man. Awesome. Joe, how did you find the meditation? Were you able to stop the thoughts for a minute?
Yes, yeah, for sure. And one thing I wanted to point out, because I'm much like you, I when I meditate, I don't see things. I kind of jealous of people that do. They see all these things or whatnot.
Yeah, I hear people saying things sometimes, and I'm like jealous of that. Yeah.
But I get the feeling, and maybe they don't get the feeling, and I'm not sure which is better.
Exactly. So I get the feelings. I feel like something. Sorry.
Right? Maybe they're missing out on the feeling, right? And they can't connect with that part. So
maybe.
I remember asking people a while back and stuff, and just people receive information or what differently. And so maybe, we may never be a visualization, but we might get stuff that we just feel, and then it leads us to that.
And then I've had people say that you can open up your third eye and you can learn how to see. And I've had people share those experiences and say that is possible. So I'm excited to think that is possible, but I have no experience of that. Natalie, did you have an experience tonight?
John, actually, I just want to share one more thing, because my wife wasn't here to do the meditation. She was actually taking care of the kids or whatnot, but then she came down and she's sitting right across from me as we're doing it. And so as we did the partner part, I was sending her the love and the light or whatnot. And then I quickly asked her, I said, did you feel anything? And she goes, yes, because we would, from when we first started dating, we would do certain things, not do certain things, but that's how I wooed her over, because I was a lot more in tune with the energy before. And so she goes, yeah, so.
Wonderful, Joe. Awesome. Thanks, man.
I think you're gonna get extra hug for her tonight.
Let's hear the females. Let's hear the females' deep intuition. Like women get really connected. Let's hear what the female felt.
Well, it's neat what you say just now. And when Jeremy said he connected with himself, like in such a deep level, it's almost like it was easier for me to connect with my primary. My primary is my 7-year-old daughter. She's amazing. So I can see her. Who I was sending love to was amazing. Who I chose, it was a natural thing. And then who's kind of irking me lately, there was a lot of love. That was easy to do. And it's funny, only until Jeremy mentioned about going back on like what he said, what he experienced, I didn't even think about that. So I wonder if it's the mother in me or the woman in me. I don't like saying that, but I wonder if it's easier for me to put that love and compassion and asking for freedom and all that stuff to other people than it is for myself.
Yes, because that's what moms do, right? Women are so much better at that than men, and but then they have to learn how to pull it back in, right?
Yeah. And that's for me right now. That's a big thing in my life, and that's why I'm doing all this as well.
Oh, this is so good. So we're right on to something really great there. And I think if you could start in the morning by, putting on your own vibration music and sitting or laying on your back, however, and building your own energy inside of you and trying to pull that up into you and nourishing your own self with it and saying that's good and that's okay. And I can feel this love right now, right?
That's the muscle. I got to build that muscle.
Yeah, you got to build that muscle, right? And that's it. That's the thought. That's the thought work. That's the habit. When you keep doing that habit, it starts to become a part of your subconscious. Once that becomes a part of your subconscious, that's just what you do. Once you start thinking and talking that way, that's what you start talking to yourself about. That's what you start talking to the people around you about. Once you start having those conversations all around you, then that's what you're thinking and talking about all day long, then it starts to actually manifest more in your life, right?
Amazing. And another thing, just a second thing, you were talking about all the chakras, and then you mentioned the throat one. And you talked about that one so much. And as of late.
Oh, the throat one, yes.
Yeah, the self-expression. So about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I was not diagnosed, but I have nodules on my vocal cord as well as edema and swelling. So I'm straining, and I know my chakras, and I know my Louise Hay, and it's about not self-expressing enough. So everything you're saying right now is, I'm walking towards it. That's the direction I'm moving.
So see if there is not a energy connection when you're in the morning, when you're practicing this, and you bring it up, and see if you can almost bring that energy to that space.
Yeah.
See if you can bring vibration and energy to that space, and see if you notice anything change in that space. Right?
Okay.
See if you can bring healing energy to that space intuitively in your thought first, and then see if you can actually make it a reality.
I've been doing a lot more thought energy work here, but I like that in the morning. So
awesome, guys. Awesome. I really love the call tonight. Thanks a lot for sticking around with me. I think we got a great message to share here. And I look forward to next week. We'll do some more meditation. I'll see you in the morning. If you want, I'll be taping a live workout at 7 a.m. And on Thursday, we'll do another meditation in the morning with some yoga.
John, I'm not sure if I could move in the morning after today.
You can catch the recording.
All right. I could do the mental work anyway.
Do the mental work for sure. Thanks, guys.
I'll do the mental exercise.
Bye.
Good night.